So it's a nice wallpaper, and it's one of the finest I have ever installed. You put it in place and it stays. The color doesn't come off. It doesn't tear easily. It's fine, fine wallpaper. I've installed some junk. And one of the nicest compliments to hear from people is, I can't see your seams. And when I hear that, I take it in and I say, the reason you cannot see your seams is because of the quality of the wallpaper. That's the reason. Because when you can see my seams, it's either grass cloth, which is an intended seamed wall covering, or something that is just inferior. For example, some peel and sticks. A lot of peel and stick is not great quality wall covering. And so it's like a decal, and you gotta heat it up to make it go flat. But if you heat it too much, you mar the surface. Anyway, what you're looking at is a fine wall covering. I started here. This was my first sheet. Because when I mapped it out, I came to this obstacle and it fell perfectly. My main sheet here is right over the center. And so, let me show you this up close. Look at this perfection. Look at this. Look at that. I take my time. If you're the homeowner, you're gonna get on your knees and look and make sure that your paper hanger did it right. If you got all wrinkles there, you got an amateur. Amateur. And these are the way vanities are going in now. There's a space here, and there's an opening under here. Well, I have several videos showing you how to hang wallpaper around pipes. This is going to be easy. Okay, same thing with behind the bowl. It's pretty easy as long as you strategically place your wall covering. Okay, so with a pattern like this, I often feature the last sheet because this blasted thing is where Aunt Ethel likes to come over and visit, and I'm going to take her place. And Aunt Ethel is too old for a cell phone, so she doesn't really have one. She doesn't know how to navigate. They're the folks who can't take videos. You ever hear that? I don't know how to do a video. Okay. So they tend to busy themselves with other things, like your wallpaper, when they are sitting down in certain places. And Aunt Ethel is a critic. Nobody wants her over, but they have her over. And when she comes over once a year, she zings her host or hostess. Who did your wallpaper? It doesn't match in the corner. But it looks good. Well, I've been fighting Aunt Ethel all my career. Aunt Ethel likes me. She actually likes me. I never give her anything to complain about. So that's dry. That was done yesterday. So if I continue that here, I don't know, I'm going to wind up with a little gap right there. And I could mismatch it in the corner, but I worked too hard to keep that animal's tail right at the top. I worked too hard for that. I tried for perfection. Look at the tail. Look at the tail. Look at the tail. They're all at the top. So what am I going to do? Blow it at the end? By the way, I want to give you 2 tips in this video. What do you do with this? This is, you know it. For you pros and for you do-it-yourselfers, you know this is a pain. You know it. Come on. As you can see, I'm not rushing to finish this part. Here's what I want you to do. Take your smoother, bring this thing down, make a nice, depending on the quality of your wall covering, make sure this corner is creased. Nice and easy. Okay, you don't want that corner moving on you. Then, now Dan Childs gave me a tool for this thing. And then he gave me another tool. You want that in that corner. And I'm going to tell you what I do, because it's not what you think. After I know my corners are secure, the ones I just showed you, I push it up against the trim. Okay? Now I had a designer once. I'm not going to mention her name. She was very large. And she decided that she was going to sit next to me on the floor while I did this. And I said, can you do me a favor and get up and move? She said, I want to watch what you're doing. I was here, little skinny me, and she was here. She took up all this space, even inside of there. And I didn't want to show her my trick, but I said, okay. Sharp blade, extended shaft, right along the edge, buddy. Right along that edge. Shh, don't tell anybody I told you this. Shh, shh, shh. Don't even tell your wife. Shush. Shh, 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 shh. You tell your wife, you know what she's gonna do. I don't want it there. Okay, turn the blade around. Facing up now. Okay. Why do I do this? Because I want perfection. I want perfection. And when I've tried it the other way, Spencer always cuts it short. And you know what I'm talking about. Then we got a gap in there. Now, do you know any human being who can get his head over here and his eyeballs against this part? If you do me a favor, send him or her my number. I want them to work for me. Seriously. I want them to work for me. And I'll pay them well. I will. Get it? Finito. Is my wallpaper on this? Yeah. What's wrong with that? Shush. Like I said, don't tell anybody. I'm gonna fix that seam. I'm letting it relax. I had to do it to this one over here too. It's hair lining on me, and I wait till the paste sets up and then I move it over. Look, watch. You see? It really becomes, you can't even see the seam, but it's not ready yet. Shh, don't say anything. But just remind me, I gotta do that. Now, I'm going to extend this one over here, and then we're gonna play with this. Okay, so, as I said, we're going to start here, over this side, put our wallpaper up, and connect it. Wow, look at that. Can you imagine? It fits perfectly. How did I do that? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, obviously I cut it off video. Just thought I'd throw in the little silly joke. Okay, so now we met up here. Now we have this gap. And some people call this a kill point. That's the official name for it. Kill, it's where you kill the wallpaper. Or the die point. Okay. It's where the wallpaper, it actually refers to that point where your wallpaper last sheet joins the first. Okay, so now we're stuck with that. So if we took this piece, you see, I made my video yesterday for those who watch all my videos. You see the importance of now keeping the animal's tail at the same point. So now these are level, you know. You come around here and this animal's down here. It doesn't look right. You're drawing attention. You must keep it level. Okay, enough on that. So now we're down to our last sheet. Now, both of these are wet. I can move them if I want. I can completely remove them if my plan fails. Okay, but this should be fun, actually. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So now I'm going to take my sheet of wallpaper and I'm going to see if I join it here to this left piece. Can I match it better over here? Or should I take this side, join it here, and can I match it better over here? It's all a function of putting it up against there and taking a look at it to see how it lays out. So I quickly learned that this is the best way to go. Join it here, and then we're going to be cutting around this area here. Because when I joined the other sheet, I wound up with an animal here and one right under him. And that'll draw too much attention, in my opinion. Okay, while this was setting up, I took care of my seam over here. I still have little to do with it. I hate that when it hairlines, but as long as you get it while it's still wet, you're good. So look at the perfection. Look at that, joined perfectly. But now, of course, we have our mismatch because we have to blend it in. And so I'm taking it back to show you that I'm looking for the best place to cut through this and to blend this pattern. Okay? And I'm thinking somewhere around here. So I have to go back and forth to see what's under it and where can I hide this the best. Obviously, this animal and this animal are too close. We couldn't have it, you see? I mean, you could, but it's not ideal. So let's get to it. So I'm cutting in. I want to get this guy out of here. And I figure the best thing is to keep him intact. Let's see. So I cut this piece out. I cut him out. Now I'm cutting this out. And this is what I'm left with. Okay, let's see. So let me pull out the underlap and you'll see where we're at. So now we're going to put that piece back and see where we're at. Let me clean it up. Use my seam roller and see how it looks. What do you think? Is this acceptable? We have two animals on close to each other, right? They're not on top of each other. But if you look close, we're missing the front of this animal and the front of this one. And we spoke about Aunt Ethel and her favorite place when she comes over. Aunt Ethel is gonna notice this. And I've never had a problem with her, but she's gonna have a problem with me if I leave it like this. Definitely. So I'm not gonna leave it like this. But what would you think of me if I did this? You see, I really don't like Aunt Ethel. I don't like her. I don't tell her that, but I don't like her. I don't like her. Nobody likes her, and I don't want to hear her. So, I'm going to anticipate her remarks. Now, you know Aunt Ethel is fictitious. She's a fictional character in my life. But I've had to deal with her all my life, making her happy. And she's a real pain. I don't like her. A lot going on there, huh? Well, have you ever seen these wild animals in the Serengeti? This is not uncommon. They attack their prey and they get on top of each other. So this is not unnatural to see animals one atop the other. So I'm okay with that. And he disappears. I don't like that. So what would you think of me if I did the same thing again? Shh. You know, if we had a really easygoing customer, which we do, we would go like this. We'd leave that hanging over. Actually, one of my customers actually said, I like it so much, leave the thing on the ceiling, something like this. I thought it was a little much, but they were exotic folks. They were. So, just as long as this rear end is in place, the rest of it should pretty much be in place too. Okay? So now, we're not missing any large part of this animal. We're not. We're going to get rid of his tail. Now, let's trim off the excess of these animals and then you tell me what you think. What do you think? paper hangers, we develop an eye for the populace. We know what people notice. We also know what they don't. You develop that eye. I don't know how, but you do. Now I can tell you that I would put the word perfection on this job. That's how good I feel about it. I would put perfection. Like sometimes my work I say, I've done better. But this one, I'd say perfection. Now remember, don't tell me, oh, but I notice it. That's silly speech. The idea was to come up with a solution for the inevitable noticing of where first sheet meets last sheet, right here. And I didn't want to lose these animals in this corner. So if you look, I tried to make it appear like you didn't lose anything. You're the judge. How do you do your kill point? Please let me know. Please make a comment, and thanks for watching.